Let me try to explain what holding an R5 is like. It's like holding a newborn baby filled with magic. It has been an amazing 5 months. I've got to say that I have enjoyed the R5 thoroughly. But in order for you to understand why I'm so excited about the R5 and some of the features that mean so much to me, you have to understand where I came from. I am coming from DSLR world. Not only that, but not even the most up-to-date DSLR. I'm coming from the 5D Mark III, which is a great camera. Don't get me wrong. But there are a lot of features that the 5D Mark III simply just did not have because of capabilities. Now that I have the R5, I have been able to appreciate not only upgrading to the R5, but I've also been able to appreciate all of the features that come from switching from a DSLR to a mirrorless camera. So when you hear me getting excited about certain things that maybe you've been enjoying for years and years and years, just celebrate with me. Just be happy with me, because for me, it is a huge upgrade. The one statement that I can make about the R5 to sum it all up is the Canon R5 simply makes everything easier for a photographer. What is the first thing? Well, it's the most important thing, and that is getting shots in focus. If you're like me, you've come from a world of focus, recompose, 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 focus, recompose. And just like you're wondering when this will end, that's how I felt when I was shooting with my 5D Mark III, waiting for my R5 to arrive, because I knew that my days of focusing and recomposing were over. This was a huge upgrade from the 5D Mark III. As a photographer, there are certain rules we try to apply. We love to break them, but one is the rule of thirds. And something interesting about DSLRs is every place they put the focusing points are never on a place where you would take a picture or where you would focus your subject using the rule of thirds. So which calls for a lot of focusing, recomposing, focusing, recomposing. This is one of the upgrades that I'm enjoying moving from a DSLR to mirrorless. So first of all, my whole screen now is filled focusing points. Game changer. That in itself, just being able to move the focusing point anywhere on the screen, for me, oh, it's spoiling me already. Now, to top it off is the automatic eye detection autofocus on the R5. This is a huge game changer, because instead of moving, and when I was shooting before, these fingers are, look, see how they're moving? That's because they were always moving that point around, trying to get the focal point the closest to my subject before I would focus and recompose. But now, wherever they are, the camera intelligently detects that eye, and it just makes shooting so much more simple. And you probably heard it before on many other YouTube channels. It allows you to simply focus on your composition, focus on shooting, and not spend as much muscle memory and brain power on focusing and recomposing. This has been helpful doing location shoots, family shoots, studio shoots, wedding shoots as well. Can we talk about ease of use for a few minutes? Can we? I was on a shoot with the client, and the client opens up Pinterest and says, oh my goodness, can we do this picture? It was a picture of two people lying down in leaves, and the picture was taken from above. I never like to tell my clients no, so of course my answer was yes. I said, yes, of course we can take this picture. open up the articulating screen, which allowed me to hold the camera up above them while they were lying in the leaves. And the autofocus said, "Look, Daniel, I got you." I'm like, "You got this?" The autofocus was like, "I got this. I got this." I'm like, "You sure?" "I got you." So I'm holding the camera up way above where I normally would be able to hold a camera, and the autofocus is taking care of the focus for me. "I got this." This allowed for me to get the shot that I needed, that my client wanted, and it came out beautiful. You know the saying, build your glass and then, invest in a great body. Well, over the years, I've invested in some L glass that I really like to use. When I got the R5, my concern was, would I still be able to use all this glass I've collected over the years? And the answer is yes, and flawlessly. They have the new RF lenses out, but I've got to say that my EF lenses work so well on the R5, no problems, until I'm able to get about $10,000 and upgrade all of my lenses to RF lenses. It's good to know that my EF lenses will work just fine, perfectly even. I can use my favorite lenses and they work seamlessly and flawlessly with the R5. Can we talk about the ergonomics for a second? Can we talk about how good the R5 feels in your hands? When I took it out of the box and the first time I put my hand around that grip, I knew it was right. It was grippy. The material they used, the grippy material, feels so good. And the buttons are right where they need to be on the camera. And there's something that I noticed. If you look at my 5D Mark III, there's a little area right here that rubs up against my hand, like right there. And it actually has rubbed off the paint because that's where the camera sits. In the R5, that part is cut out so that it's just so much more comfortable in my hand. It just shows that the people who were designing this camera really thought about people who are going to be holding a camera for 5 to 8 hours in a day and how comfortable it needs to be so that you don't get hand fatigue and that you're able to do your job throughout the day. So the ergonomics of the R5, they're perfect. I really can't imagine them being any better than what they are right now. I love holding the camera. At the end of the day though, it comes down to the images that a camera can produce. So check this out. This is some of my work that I've produced in the last few months with the Canon R5. So let's wrap this up. The Canon R5, painfully expensive. But is it worth it? My answer is yes. My Canon R5 has already paid for itself, so good job, Canon R5. You produce some beautiful images, and the Canon R5 simply makes my job as a photographer easier, which in the end I know is going to lead to more creativity, better work, and better quality. I cannot wait to keep exploring the R5 and learning more about it. I just updated the firmware, so right now I'm actually shooting in C-Log 3. Oh boy. We'll see if I'm able to color grade this and make it look like something. And also there was another update which allows you to shoot 120 frames per second in 1080p. Oh, there we go. And I still do use 1080p a lot on the Canon R5. It looks pretty good. This is actually shooting in 1080p right now. Don't tell anybody. If you don't tell, I won't tell. But I can say that the R5 has been just a joy in my arsenal. Still using the adapter, still debating those RF lenses, and if that is a leap that I'm going to make. But one leap I'm glad I did make was to get the R5 and to put it in my arsenal of tools that I'm going to use to be the best photographer that I can possibly be. So that's all I have for you today. Whatever camera you have, I hope that you're using it, and I hope that you're enjoying it. Until next time, peace.